So we understand the whole magnetic field, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, in shades of grey, yes?
Yeah.
And then we look at planets,
Mm-hmm.
and we see the way that they orbit, yes? And some planets have moons, stars have planets, and then we've got black holes that have got stars, which then make up galaxies, and then more galaxies orbit. Anyway, I want to keep it a little bit more simple. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this all out. Maybe it's not the time just yet, but I'm going to go into it anyway. Alright. I think I want that one, and this one, and maybe this one. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not going to get too hung up. You know what they're called, so shout it out what they are if I get a little stuck on that, and then you can deal with that side of it, and I can deal with just getting it out. Can we be like a little team like that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, let's see. This just makes it easier for me to draw it, by the way. That's all. Now, we're going to have to do one... No. Could we? Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that, because if that's going to get confusing anyway. Now, let's draw one like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. And then... Sure, that was quite right. But still, now it's going to do just as well. And I think there could be a more than this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it depends on what it is as to what orbits it, yes?
Yeah.
It's not going to make much sense just yet, but just give me a second or two and I'll get there. Where do thoughts come from, yes? That's a very interesting question. I think that's puzzled humanity a lot, hasn't it? Where do thoughts come from?
Yeah.
What is, we can say that we look at something and then we have automatic thoughts and then we have forced thoughts.
Yeah.
Same with we got automatic breathing
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got, oh my God, I gotta forget this again now.
Yeah.
And then we've got forced breathing.
Yeah.
And swallowing and blinking. Yes, okay, that will be enough because I now have to forget these because if not, now I'm going to have to over blink now just to keep my. Oh, it's terrible, but still. So that means that there's some sort of other operating system going on that allows your lungs to breathe. Then when you become aware of it, it's sort of like you switch from autopilot to manual.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, it's mainly automatic. You have automatic dreams and you have forced dreams, which is an enhanced daydream, where you really zone out really far and then, I don't know, 5 minutes have gone here, but in order to have planned all of that, you can think how long it's taken to create the universe. If you're thinking about the universe, I can do this in a few seconds, and that few seconds took that an awful lot of time to create that.
Mm-hmm.
So it took the universe itself X amount of billion years, maybe even trillion, to get that.
Mm-hmm.
But your brain can think of it in a few seconds. That's interesting, isn't it? So do you get how that time warps? Or did something else put that information into you?
Yeah.
You see? Most people are like, well, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Man, I'm way beyond that. What came first, the universe or my ability to think it? Or yours, or anybody else's for that matter, It's not a unique thing when I say, when I think it, because you can think it too. Run it through your head. You can watch a movie and it takes, what, an hour? And you can watch it through your mind very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't take quite as long.
Yeah.
But yet, how long did it take for those people that made the movie? How much time and energy and effort did they put into that just for you to just imagine it in a few seconds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you could then say that the movie came first in that instant. This one is a little different. You weren't there to see it. You're there to see a part of it. And then you're able to see all of it. Now, where does that visualization come from? That's the bit. Anyway, then there's the thoughts that sort of go around and different things like that. So what makes up our body, yes, is, can I draw it something like this?
Yeah.
So we've got what, the empty space and the... It's not empty. That's the thing, right? And I was sitting there thinking, Okay, so I'm just going to let you know how I see it,
Yeah.
and then if it makes sense or not. So I'm going to draw the minus in this, and then I'm going to draw the plus in this.
Yeah.
The plus to be in this is what you can see.
Yeah.
The minus is what you cannot see. I'm going to put can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Now that's going to bug me a little bit, so I'm going to just kind of move that out of the way. I'll put you there. There we are. Now I'm happy. Anyway, so this would be an atom,
Yeah.
and you have protons orbiting electrons.
No, electrons are orbiting.
I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. That's where I need you to come in, right?
Yeah.
So, depending on what it is, it has more of these orbiters, yeah?
Yeah.
A bit like the planets. Certain planets are orbiting stars like this, and some have more, some have less, depending on what it is. Okay, great. So it's in the big scale, so it must be happening in the little scale. However, never mind. We'll get into that, and we're going to go all the weird shit from there and beyond. While we've got one here, you ever hear me talk about the grey zone?
Yeah, you talk about
Okay,
this.
so that's being in the middle of two parallels, yes?
Yeah.
Well, I can choose to be a bastard if I want. I can also choose to be a loving person, a nice person. I can choose to hate, or I can choose to love, yeah? I can also choose to get emotional about hurt things in some aspect. This isn't perfect. I got some bits that I still need to get my hands on, but still. You can see morbid things that may happen in life as natural life. You can choose to go sadness in that, or you can choose to be happy in that. That's really kind of weird, isn't it, to think about that? Some things are easier to do. You might find things in yourself, and other people might be like, whoa, that's just not normal. What they're actually saying is, whoa, I can't do that. But if you were to investigate it and word it out a little bit better, you could look at the other person and be like, well, I can't do those things that you're doing. How do you have all that confidence? Well, the same way that you find this funny. That would break me if it was... You see, so if we sit here and go, oh, you're weird. What we're actually saying is, wow, you're different. How do you do that? Fascination. See, again, it's another choice, isn't it? We can bitch each other down or bring each other up. Now, what if there's something invisible that you can't see it? You can't observe it. No tools can see it because we've taught the tools to see the stuff that we can see. All of this shit. And it's automatically has ignored the shit that we can't see. It may be able to see an influence of these. You can't just have empty gaps there. No, it's invisible. You can't see it. It's the reverse of what you're seeing. And if it is, then it means it's got the reverse. And then how does the body stay together? And then after death, it knows to break it down. How does it do that? Do you ever ponder that? How, for most of your life, you evade rotting, and then all of a sudden, you rot.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty fucking quick in some things. It's already stuck. Whoa, man, that smell, man. Well, it's because of this and it's because of that. Yeah, I like that. That's surface. But there's something more deeper going on. Something must be allowing that breakdown. Yeah. Well, this one's over here. This little bit here.
Yeah.
There's an equal one. And they merge together. They join together. It's the brain that gets fascinating. It's inside the brain. That one is fucking complex as anything, okay? So if we look at it, and we'll say if we got the reverse. It's easy to think of it as a reverse periodic table, okay? So we'll do one in the blue that we can all see, yeah? Yada, hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, silica, iron, rah-de-rah, yes?
Yeah.
And beyond, whatever that may be. That's the one we can see. That's the one that we can probably fuck around with, yeah? It needs breaking down again because there's also ones for planets. Because they do something different. You don't exactly see life hovering around a star, do you? No. Or inside a star, I should say. It's probably going to be unlikely. Not impossible, but just not yet, I don't think. And then we've got what planets can make up and how they make certain elements on it. With the weather, again, it's a star. It's still a star. It just for whatever reason just didn't get going enough. This one hogged the space. This one got the most. Well done, you. But after all, Jupiter teaches you. What do you reckon if you kept filling that up? If you found another solar system, and let's say you moved all of the planets and started just throwing them into Jupiter. Do you not think that thing's going to gain so much mass it's going to start fusion? I think it's possible. I literally think it's possible, to be honest. That would be interesting. That changes your... So then that would make you understand that planets, well, they could be stars. Wow, fucking hell. Whew. So they're dialed back a little bit.
Yeah.
They can't do what a star can do, but they can still mix some things depending on what is on them. They seem to have this knowing to change composition of different things and mix it into this, and maybe cold here and a slight bit more pressure there. And then we see some metals, especially on Venus. Is it Tiglorium? Wait, might be.
Tellurium?
Tiglorium.
Tellurium?
Maybe. It covers the... It's not known, but it's guessed that that's what it is. It's a trace element on the Earth, but it's abundant on Venus. Now, you could argue that just found its way there, or some shit happened on Venus, forgive my Englishly French, it could have made this as a byproduct of the pressures and the heat and this, that, and the other, life-charging life. But the information that sends back, you could say that it's cells, you could argue that it's in the blood. If it was in the blood, it would take 12 seconds. It takes 12 seconds, I think, to do a complete circuit, so it's going to take around 6 seconds. So that's too long. That doesn't work. How does it know to heal the skin? Well, if these get broken, that's a kink in the chain. The message still is sent a different way, but it's now missing. It's not. This is called an alignment. Each time, is it called, electron, wait, and...
Proton in the core with neutron and electron in the orbit.
So electron in the orbit, then is what I'm thinking about. So when it's here, and you've got the one in the physical going one way, one must be going counterclockwise is what I'm going to guess. And it's a periodic table that's in reverse. Maybe. So this one would start off here, and this one is the reverse of it. So this one is plus, this one is minus. So in the minus. So you've got one minus, one positive, one minus, one positive, which then you can understand that this can stick together, hold itself in shape. When you've got one that's going to orbit this way, you've got this invisible one that's orbiting counterclockwise. And when those two bits that are flying around the outside meet with one another, they exchange information. And they travel through each other. Interesting. Wait, let me see if I can do this. Maybe we could. Maybe I got something here. Oh, yes, wonderful. Okay, and this. So we're going to take this one as the invisible, but it's not. Because compared to it, this one is invisible. And when they orbit around and they come together, they merge together for a briefest of seconds. And information is shared each time. So when it's hit one side, then it hits the other side. You get on this when you get into the brain. It gets more fascinating with the brain. So this is just simple, everyday, one orbits this way, one orbits that way, and then they align. But they align twice, maybe even a couple of times if another one then comes here. They're all in synchronicity with each other. But one is in retrograde, one is in, I don't know what you'd say, clockwise, one's counterclockwise. These ones probably go counterclockwise or whichever way you can see it. Either or. This one's in reverse. And when they line together, and even when it hits here, it aligns. And it hits here, it aligns. When it hits here, it's aligned. So 4 alignments, perhaps, maybe even more. Can't be sure. And like I said, this is very new. So allow me to just dive into this. And they merge. They meet the gray zone in the middle. They're independent for a little bit, then they merge. Then they're independent for a little bit, and then they merge. Independent, merge. Independent, merge, independent. One orbits one way, one orbits the other way. And it sends a signal back. So the body must be able to know what this is and the body must know what this is. Just because you can't physically see it, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You can't physically see it, but you can feel it.
But it's still there.
This gets interesting when you understand where thoughts come from. To being able to merge both of them together. So yes, we've got quantum, but we've also got a quantum reality inside the head. So you've got quantum and reality. You've got two bridges. And then these seem to merge in a figure of 8. A bit more heavier. I think it could even be, 8 of these as opposed to 4. Now what they're orbiting, I don't know, man, if it's going to work this way. This is triangular though. We're going to use a triangular one? I might use a triangular one. As opposed to them being round, they seem to orbit. And when they all align together, this one's in 6. When they orbit together, they all align for a split second, which then can create an image of the two, because you're merging your thought with reality that you've just taken a snapshot to. And then when these come together, they quickly spark, which then can create the illusion that you've just seen something, which allows the light to divot into a shape, an image, which then can imprint each other and then smash back into your field, which then gives you a thought, right? Now, I often wonder, what the hell is in control of this? The others are invisible even more still. You see, the brain knows more but you can't prove it. That's that's the pain in the ass about it. You can't prove it either way or the other. You might be able to make an instrument to be able to see this, but even still, there would still be 2 more that are invisible to anything that we can observe. It's almost like saying that there are 2 planets orbiting around the star. There's a star we see and one we don't. That's very interesting, isn't it? Fucking hell, that gets confusing then. I don't like getting into parallel universes or whatever it's called, multiverse. It's really complex. So that probably be for something else. I don't like going into that though. That one, I really don't like it. Because you barely figure out this one and then you can overcomplicate it. Yes, you could look at it and argue and say that we're in a multiverse by looking at bacteria. When you understand a bacteria, from its perspective, it's seeing in a very different way. As if it's even got eyes at all. But still, it's seeing in a very different way. It evolves in a very different way. What happens if one of those bacterium mutate? Then they start to grow and then outnumber the verse that you have there already, yes?
Yeah.
Then these ones are going to be able to break away from the original, which those ones are going to continue going off as original, but they're not going to grow as fast. And now the ones that were these that mutated are going to outnumber, and then they're going to be able to break away. Why? Because they're able to do something different that these ones can't. So these ones might want to go off this way, but depending on how these ones mutated, they can then separate, become independent. Interesting. How do they see? How do they think? Or you'd say they don't think. Then how do they get the information? Who's telling them the information? Is the more to the point. So there could be extra that are invisible. I think plants have nailed this really well, by the way. I think plants understand a lot more. It's almost like plants are coded to tell you more. It's almost like we're in this realm of hinting. So the brain can see shit that reality can't. So animals see it as just the way it is, yeah?
Yeah.
Some of them, not all, but some will utilize that sparking. We could say crows, squirrels, but penguins? Not really. What about deer? Not really. What separates these apart? Their ability to use the environment. I think it's crows or ravens will pick up a stick and try and fish out ants with it.
Yeah.
And they also like to aggravate ants. They like the formic acid. It helps condition the plumage. So they'll irritate an ant's nest just so they start spraying them. They'll sit there half, going at them, attacking them slightly, just so they can get good conditioner. They used to use chimneys in the day to smoke out, to then remove the ants. It's kind of crazy anyway. I suppose it beats picking them out, but this must move colonies. Oh, fuck knows how they end up getting back. But anyway, and still with the brain, I always say a heavy atom.
Yeah.
Plus with the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So this would tell you that something is feeding it instruction. How's that? Well, it beats, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The heart seems to think for itself in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just there, it's stomach as well. All of the chakras, I guess. The stomach as well. The kidneys, the liver. There's no way, I don't think any way, I just think certain things are restricted from your brain. Could you imagine if you turn on and off your ability to filter water with your kidneys? I know, you see, that probably threw you because you're a little bit confused. So you can control your breathing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's mainly automatic.
Yeah.
You can't do it with your kidney though, can you?
No.
You can't do it with your liver.
No.
It's fascinating. Livers are self-regenerating. The only part of the body that really is. Actually, that's not true because the skin, to a degree, but still the liver is quite a fascinating organ. There's good reason for that. There's very good reason for that. I'll get onto that one on another day. Maybe. Maybe not. It's almost like there's something feeding information into this. And it's snapping round, snapping round, snapping round. Do you ever think that? Like, it depends how you view your own mind, really, I suppose. See, it's almost, for me, I fascinated these last few days of how many things I can make spin, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, and then having the ability to try and move around this object in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky, eh? It's like most things, you have to teach yourself it, right? Imagine it a windmill, two windmills, one's going one way, one's going the other way, then another, then add another, then add another, and another. So most things that are separate from one another seem to don't want to collide with each other, sort of thing. They won't stay together. You can't exactly pick up a rock and shove it on your arm, can you? Yeah, I'll just patch myself there. It's good. You ever wanted to create a different life with plasters? You just use the rock, right? But you don't, you're separate. Why? What is the missing mechanism with that? Could it be this? The rock appears to be a solid object, but technically, is it a solid object? And most of the other stuff, let's say, is all jostling around, yes? Bouncing off of each other, creating...
Yeah.
This stuff isn't. It's uniform, it's together, it's wrapped. It stays in one piece, yes?
Yeah.
So I look at that as a reverse periodic table for myself. But there's more. Anytime we look at anything that's round in this aspect, what reveals itself in the middle of round objects?
Some center.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. Diamonds? Oh, I see.
The cross.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, you might have to go quite a bit in, but still, two triangles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or if you draw it either or, doesn't matter which way, a kite, a diamond. Then that makes me wonder, what's in there then?
Yeah.
Is that the grey matter? Is that the grey zone? Is that the zone in between?
Yeah.
Then why is that more hidden than the other one that's hidden? Almost like it's just beckoning you to have a look at it. If you think that all of this stuff I'm saying is crazy, I think you do that word injustice, especially when you're trying to label me with that. You've got to think up something better. Crazy is just, it's like dipping your finger in a fucking sugar jar and just be like, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Whereas really, what we're trying to explain here in terms of craziness is like eating the whole sugar jar at once. Okay, so crazy's too little. It's like dipping your finger. We're well in that. Now, what is all of this bit in the middle? That's the bit that puzzles me, it stumps me. There's something there, but what is it? Now, to assume that there's nothing there in this would be stupid. Because that would be to assume that there's nothing here. That this is nothing, right? And it's just all about this stuff. Actually, what we're finding is it's not. There's more there. And then taking a closer look at that, before you get looking at that, then appears something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really draw this in the most greatest way possible. And why do I fascinate with plants? Because they almost seem to draw this, don't they? With their flowers,
Yeah.
plus their leaves, yeah?
Yeah.
Almost. Well, maybe I'll join that one to that one. Very terrible. Terrible, but either way. And that crossing in the middle, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
These ones are the question marks for me. What are these?
Yeah.
It's almost like the plants see the red, and we can say the blue, yeah?
Mm.
Hey, and just not looking at plants like it. I think it was drawn more over here as yesterday. I think it was last night. I was just sitting here playing with this. Just have a quick draw. I was listening to some videos. I was kind of half listening. Actually, I was listening, and I was also doing this. These plants. Plants fascinate me because they almost seem to be talking about something. If you could learn the conversation, yes?
Yeah.
It's very strange that they only do it every now and then. And when you take apart the wood from a tree,
Yeah.
the knots in it are very interesting. It's almost like a magnetic field orbiting around certain celestial objects. But they see it in a different way. If I were to look at the bark being clear,
Yeah.
white, and they put dark spots on it called knots.
Mm.
But these dark spots are, reverse it.
Yeah.
Make the wood dark and those spots light. It's showing you something, right? And some of these draw some very interesting pictures on them. And again, they must see, but they see in heat, probably thermal. Maybe not perfect, but I think it's more thermal. Thermal imaging. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So they see, but probably in a very different way to what seeing is perceived. Interesting. So what are they seeing? Is it part of the story? That's interesting to think about that. And when we look at it, there are some of these things in Africa, I think. I can't remember what they're called now. They got a really big eyes. They can see the moons of Jupiter.
Yeah.
So again, their part of the story is very different, but inherently it's all comes into the pot of understanding, doesn't it? And then plants, you could just be like, yeah, they're beautiful, or that's it, dismissive, nature, dismiss it. But it's actually almost sort of, I don't know, this looks like magnetic fields to me. The lines in it look like magnetic influences, which could be where they're storing the magnetic field. Long-term predictability on it. It looks like stars, magnetic fields, moon, and planets. It's not perfect science, but the more I was looking at the wood when doing it, I get fascinated with all of that grain in there. Just how it is, you know? It's almost like it's cataloging information.
Yeah.
And again, it could just be a wood grain, and it's just grown because of this, and that's where the plant put the branch out. But again, the irony of it putting a branch there, always more so towards where the sun is. The way they can tell you which way south is. I mean, that's very fascinating, that. And then that's no accident. That seems planned. That seems very, well, there, and maybe there. So I know to follow this path here. It's very interesting. I find that quite fascinating with plants. And then in the grain, they seem to be showing something in the grain, which I think is magnetic influences. And again, if there's radiation in an area, trees grow thicker towards the radiation.
Yeah.
So again, they're storing this information. Well, radiation would be the star, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So again, they're very interested in radiation, and there's certain other things as well. So they're cataloging it. If they weren't, they wouldn't grow thicker towards the areas of high radiation. So again, interesting that they document that. Yeah, very good, very good. So I wonder what the roots are doing. Documenting what's down below? Because they are very light and dark. They enjoy lacking pressure and they enjoy lots of pressure all at the same time. And the trunk is basically the center column, isn't it, really, from two dualities? Well, technically not, because it kind of... But it is the two balances, isn't it? One side loves pressure, loves it to be damp, loves a certain temperature, loves the compactness, and the other side likes it empty. It likes it light. So you kind of get that they're the best of both worlds in that. That's why I love nature. It's freaking fascinating. Never mind that it clones and does other things. I mean, naturally, that's impressive, that is. That's really impressive. And it almost is tenacious when it comes to death, like when it falls over. And you think, it's a dead tree. Actually, they start fucking going like the clappers out the sides, and some of these take down. And again, that's hard to then tell how old that tree is, because technically you'll be like, yeah, this tree's only 50 years old because of these rings. If you're missing all of that growth from before, that is still the same tree. But now 50 years turns into 350, and then depending on how many times this tree's fallen over, if you add this over to a lifespan of a tree, that's walking. It's slow and it's not seen as movement, but it's still walking and cloning. They can move by cloning. And I wonder if this is to reach better lands or to find, so there's certain plants that are extinct here. Yeah. And they go into this rapid clone mode, but they are moving in a direction. That's the next bit. It's right. You think that you're going to grow towards the sunrise, sunset, maybe you're going to probably dart off this. No, it's not that. It grows the leaves to this direction, yes, because it can tell you which way south is. Inside a house, it's quite more difficult to understand that, but still, the direction, no matter what windowsill it's on, it's always the same. And even if you alternate the pot, it stops cloning out this side and it starts going back towards the route it's going. So what does it know? What's it trying to, where's it going? Where's it heading? You see, and if conditions were favorable enough, see, me personally, I mean, I wouldn't have the money to do it, but I'd build a greenhouse and follow it. So I'll take it down and just, where are you going? I mean, and then when it comes to the ocean, who knows? Then if you were reading that and it got to the, like, as close to the ocean as it could, what's over the ocean in that exact alignment? And then if you were to pick it out and put it into a place in the ground over there, will it carry on? Where's it headed? What does it know? So again, could it be looking for a certain type of pollen that it's after? Clearly this one's female, so there's a chance that there are not identical pollen that it would like, but there is something it can make do with, and it seems to know where this is. It's just baffling as to how it knows which direction to go. So something is leading it. Now what that is, well, fuck knows, because you'd say that it needs a brain to be intelligent, or it's still intelligent, and then there is, I would say, this thing that we could call mystery. Sounds really wrong. Let's call it divine. Divine intelligence. It seems to be following something. Interesting. I find that very interesting. So, yeah, if you can think about it with these, there's one that's seen, one that is invisible, and they seem to orbit around alignment. Now, what information are they sharing when they come together? Now, what does this tell the center? Well, clearly, what orbits around, is that not telling it what it makes up, what it is, what it's supposed to be a part of? If there are different bits that orbit, I'm just going to call it that, then this makes up what it is.
Yeah.
So it's holding information then, yes? It's almost like the star has scanned it. You're going to be this. You're going to be this. You're going to be this. Now, you're going to be this. And when it's finished doing that, I don't know if I like these labels. I'm going to give you some more. Beep. Now you're this. Now, depends on what it's doing, slamming things together. It's still holding memory. Because if not, when it explodes from the star, how does it still hold its shape? Well, it's been told. It's been told you're going to be this, and then there are conditions that say that you're no longer going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So in certain circumstances, the human body stays in this shape for as long as you can live out, whatever that may be. And you hold in this shape, and then in death,
Mm-hmm.
something is no longer there telling it. Then you begin to rot down. The bones hold the memory, don't they? But there again, that's just crystal, though. You can hold certain information through crystal, can't you? But even still, under certain conditions, these will still break down. Just longer process. Still holds that memory, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And then there's a lot of experiments done to try and mummify, to try and keep the essence of human. But it seems to fail, doesn't it? Spectacularly, there's been a lot tried over history. That has been tried quite a bit, yes? And yeah, it's made advancements, but however, it's still very hit and miss, isn't it? As to whether this is going to work or not. Even from storing individuals in ice. So the ancients knew that if they went into ice, they lasted a lot longer, yes?
Yeah.
Some of these saw this as sacrificial. Now I wonder if there's a little bit more to that. That it's sort of like the ice age. It brings a whole different meaning to the word death.
Yeah.
This would have held your ancestors perhaps not exactly perfectly, but a shite sight more than what you see today. Yeah, think about it. How long can chicken... I mean, I was absolutely shocked. I'll tell you a story. I think I've already told you it, so I don't need to go on about it more. When clearing out a freezer and there was a chicken in there, for fuck knows. It was so old, man. It was way beyond its any date you could find on it. But it still looked pretty much like a chicken. I could make that out. Why didn't you put it in there with the feathers on? Yeah, may as well. Feathers don't like freezing. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure when it's dead it turns that off. But anyway, still. So, could you imagine then a freezer, but not like a freezer, and this gets a little bit morbid, but history often is. Where you make a cemetery type.
Yeah.
Where you hack into some chairs. You out of the ice.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to use a tool here, but again, this gets you going for tools. The ice would have shaped humans. It would have been so easy to carve. You've got to be able to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And why would they carve into this stuff? Well, it makes sense because, you know, grass stays living underneath ice. You've got to look at ice as collapsed atmosphere. And what does a characteristic that an atmosphere really does well? It causes light to scatter, which light scattering is what allows nature to exist. When we see this stuff called snow come down, it's so bright that it's scattering even more light, which is interesting. Have you ever been out when it's been really pure white, that when you start blinking, you start to see the blood, you see red when you blink? If you really pay attention to it, and you've been in an environment of sterile white for a while, in the slightest dims of when you shut your eyes and open them and blinking, you'll see a dark, but mainly predominantly a red color.
Yeah.
I saw red. What was the temperature like? Well, it's quite hot. You didn't see red. If you just said it was cold, then I believe this big red veil fell over your eyes and it made you do some funny things. And it can be quite a thing to get over, by the way. That's a very interesting thing. That is because light scatter is more.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good at scattering light that your eyelids become transparent in a way that where the blood is shine through. Just like when you get a very bright torch underneath your hand and you can see it glows very red, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It looks quite beautiful in some aspects. Sometimes it's very purple, but still. Same with eyelids, are very thin. You'd think that for most of it, you'd be able to see red. Yeah. But it's usually when the atmosphere begins collapsing down, which we'll call snow. So light scatters even more so. So anything that's growing under it that likes that light scatter That's a good place to grow. And there again, depending on what's going on under the ground. So we look at hydrothermal vents under the ocean.
Mhm.
We got to think places that have got hot springs. Take Yellowstone, for example.
Yeah.
It's America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere, America, Canada, close
Yeah,
to this,
yeah,
isn't it?
America.
Close to Canada.
Oh, it's
Maybe it's
on-
not. Maybe it's not. I don't
I
really
think
care.
it is, but
Now you'd think that that place maybe it wasn't there in the Ice Age. Let's just say, but there would have been other places that have these hot springs, geysers, geysers, or whatever. If you've got a thick layer of ice over that, don't you think it'll act like a hydrothermal vent? But not in water. But there again, atmosphere is water. It's just less dense, bit more scattered water, isn't it? It still stinks. You just don't realize it. This planet smells. Smells like a stale. Grow some green beans. I don't know if they're called that. Don't know what they are now.
yeah,
Broad
yeah.
beans,
I
green
think
beans,
green beans. Yeah.
and you get that sort of smell.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the planet. Sort of got that sort of wafty, stagnated smell to it, mixed in with a little bit of nice hints and notes of nature. What are we doing? Making beer? Might as well. That smells very much. And if you come across other life forms, that's the first thing you're going to notice is they've got this aroma to them, and their environment. It might be breathable for you, and it might be under the same sort of pressure, maybe a similar gas, but it depends on the level of moisture. It's gonna be a bit wafty, that. So light that scatters underneath the surface, yes, can create a dome.
Yeah.
And under that dome, it's going to create warmth. And underneath that warmth, there's going to be good amounts of light scatter.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't take very long for the ancestors to know that. And then animals that you may not be able to eat the wilderness
Yeah.
because there's not enough for you to eat. I think before the Ice Age, humans were a bit more, I think most life forms were, they were a bit more vegetarian. They weren't going to the extremes of washing all of the food, but whatever came. If there was a spider on it, so be it. I mean, you've probably eaten hundreds of spider mites in your life and never realized it when they're on a stinging nettle or whatnot.
Mhm.
Or let's say blackberry, if you've eaten stinging nettles, and you've crisped them off. Yeah, probably got a few spider mites on there. A few other things as well. Lots of different things. Fly larvae, wasp larvae, these are all common things. Depends on how long. The more sour the blackberry you eat or the fruit you eat,
Yeah.
the more pure it is. Most people don't like it like that. Oh, it's too sour. Yeah, that's what I'm banking the flies thought. So I'll eat them green, and then they're quite nice. I'll eat them red, and when I eat them black, too many little, yeah. And then if they've been left on the bush for too long, they then start that sort of fermenty smell, don't they, around the area, which then attracts more. And then it's a good time to put life in it because it's sweet. And that's usually when they do it. So I tend to avoid it like that. So, but anyway, even still, you might not be able to eat all of this vegetation when there's an ice age, but there might be enough for certain types of animals to cling to eat. And then you would have to eat the animals to stay alive because you couldn't directly eat the food that they were eating, but you ate it indirectly by eating them.
Mm-hmm.
So they gathered up that nutrients. Sort of vegetarian in a way. And then you go meat eater, but you don't. You were basically having lots of leafy stuff when times were good, with a little bit of protein, like the reverse of a roast dinner. So, yeah, very much vegetables with just a very tiny bit of meat here and there. Then an ice age happens, and then that's got to open up something. And then if there's fire, yeah, maybe. Then you might tunnel underground. That's also possible.
Yeah.
Hey, learn about a lot about life in that situation, and then making fire would become quite something. But I don't think they were making fire by banging a few things together. I think they were crushing things. When you understand that, it only takes, if you're filling your house with straw, or you find straw, or anything that's decayed and it's all laid flat, you might bundle this up. It will preserve it. And you bring it back to the house to dry it or whatever, because you might want to use it as animal feed or whatever. And then if you're going to crush some stuff, because you might be making some, I don't know, found some seeds in it, who knows. You begin to crush this, and you get a piece of flint go in there. It's only a matter of time before you realize how sparkalicious that really is. So, again, if a fire is on its way out, I throw some ground flint into it, into a powder, and it fucking sparks like stars. You'll understand it. It's a bit gunpowdery as well, almost. So, and I think this comes from, and witches and wizards would use this back in the day as impressive. They'd go up to the fire and do this, and then the fire would sparkle. Ooh, you must have some magic. It's called knowledge, but still, yeah, magic. Everyone goes to the whole thing that there must be some sort of ritual you're doing, or some sort of spell work you're doing. Mm-hmm. Yes, because spells and rituals are very tricky. What it really means for them to have done some sort of spells or rituals is they've got some knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then they might have dressed it up in a way that makes them rather feared. Mm-hmm. Therefore, they'd be left alone. Don't go near that person over there. You know, vulnerability back in the day is quite a high thing. Mm-hmm. But if people feared you because you were mystical and did some strange shit and might turn me into a frog, people are often going to stay away from you in that. It becomes a layer of protection, doesn't it? There it is. I've been bugging my brains for this for the whole day, and there it is. I just wait for it to pop back in. Yes. Where do you think nature came from originally?
Don't know.
Right, most people think they're meteorites, yes? And I shouldn't say meteorites because they're not called that until they land on the Earth, right? And technically, not all of them land on the Earth. They orbit. And maybe they'll knock through a little bit of the atmosphere and then go off on a little journey. All right, little fuckers, hey, get around. And then it comes around again and maybe it goes through a little bit more and this burns up. And the atmosphere has a little go at really, not all of them, some are fluky that they just come straight out of nowhere and just... Yeah. But most of them are a little bit more of an intricate dance. And bit by bit, each time they scale through the atmosphere is having a good go at trying to break it up. That's very interesting. Why does it do that? Fuck knows. It's almost like it's being taught to have done something. And slowly but surely, no, the ones that bring life on it are interesting. And these are few and a few. You know, if this planet was to explode, okay, no fear, because it's not, don't panic. It's not something that's, you know, it is possible, but, you know, again, you got to go through it without having fear. If this planet was to explode in multiple directions, let's say, and it was to lose its whole center mass, let's say, and it wasn't enough to pull it back, whatever hit it caused it to shatter into a load of pieces without it going into a fireball. Just cleanly hit it. This is going to scatter out multiple directions depending on what hit it. Maybe this will end up in Oort cloud, some of it. And some of it might get knocked out to the different star systems, but not actually make it. Then these are so far away from the star now, and they've run out of momentum, yeah? Mm-hmm. So they're just clinging around. Just bits and pieces that just become space junk, as it is. But there are some seeds trapped in it. It's now cold. Mm-hmm. You have frozen seeds. Yeah. And then you take them out and plant them, and fuck it out. Well, space is going to freeze this. Yeah. These seeds are going to be trapped in here. And then the star's going to explode. Let's say, as it often does. It's not going to be sucked into it. It's more likely going to breathe in a little bit and then it's going to be thrown out. It's not going to cook it though. It's going to be protected nicely. And if it has any moisture on it, that's going to stay pretty good as making it a bit more unexplainable, I'm going to guess, a bit more erratic on its path. It's going to change its path. Yeah. Then if this rendezvous from the explosion to another planet system, well, it's going to have a load of opportunities to make it on different planets. Jupiter-sized planet, maybe life builds up in that. It's possible. It's probably not. But there is a percentage that it could do. Or it's going to hit one of its moons. It can wait if the conditions... If you hit something into Europa, and let's say it is made of ice, well, if Jupiter ever started fusion, Europa, my money would be on it, that that's where life would begin to flourish. For a moon, it would change everything that you ever thought that you knew. At the moment, it's icy. Minimal magnetic field, but it's still there nonetheless, but everyone thinks it's being charged by Jupiter, which is a possibility. And this stretching and squeezing works on both. Well, let's say Jupiter started fusion. What do you reckon is going to happen to Europa? Depending on how much salt water is there, well, it's going to convert the salt water into fresh water, that's for sure. It's going to sweat it. Then the ocean itself, depends on how much is there versus rocky outcrop, who knows, is going to shrink. Some of it around the caps is probably not going to be touched. That's if it's orbiting. Maybe the backside is nice and icy and the front is nice and moist. But still, that's going to create some level of... And it might have not rivers, but glaciers that act as rivers where it collects up from the sweat layer and then goes across to the rear of the planet, let's say. Who knows? The jet stream or some sort of stream gets going. And that's going to settle down as snow, and this snow is going to build up, and then it's going to start to slide back down and go back into the melting pot. It will still create life, but life in a very different way. Yeah. It's still going to create a planet Earth, but not the one you're going to be looking for. Now, if this dips down, and some of it's put into more ice around the back, and it's fresh, you now got some fresh water processes coming out. Any landmass that gets exposed in that dipping, well, there's going to be a chance that this fresh water is going to start to pool. Yeah. Also, it's going to be able to grind down more so whatever that object is made from. So minerals. It's going to start dissolving minerals. Perhaps it's ocean itself, not enough current in it to start, at least eroding. Perhaps not. Now Jupiter's changed, and its sociology is now changed. It's no longer a moon, it becomes a planet. Jupiter is no longer a planet, it becomes a star. All of that change in a blink of an eye, depending on where you see it, depends on what happens, blah-de-blah. Well, you're going to get some fresh water, then you're going to get some erosion, then you're going to get some really good ingredients going on there. So even if you do find a Jupiter that's really close, and it's got some moons, these moons would be high interest to me. Yeah. I wouldn't just disregard it because I found a Jupiter. I'd be like, hang on, what if it's got Europa around it? What would its orbit be? Well, it spends about 12 hours in between the Sun and Jupiter, and then at the back of this Jupiter-looking planet, it's got another 12 hours where it's in darkness and cold. And around and cold. That's going to create a process on there. Now anyway, let's say the Earth explodes, and it's trapped a load of seeds. It's just going to take a small seed pod. Now think of how many seeds there are. Nature makes a fucking lot. A hell of a lot. Way too many, to be honest, for what it actually needs to do. If this begins to go on its journey towards a sort of Jupiter, a moon, when you look at Io, and you look at some of the other planets that are there, you notice that they're quite impact. You look at the moon, damn, that's got a lot of meteorites in it. Yes, some vaporized, don't get me wrong. But a planet like Europa is going to puff up. It's going to create an atmosphere. If that does do that, then that's going to be interesting. Now, what happens if it doesn't have a magnetic field? Or it does, but not a strong one? And some meteorites, these are my favorite ones. These are the ones that often get looked at as insignificant meteorites. So I've got some that are pretty thick and heavy, yes? Yeah. And you would think that this is a real prize of the universe, yeah? Let's say it's potentially older than the planet. Yeah. And then when the planet's all done, it's young. And you think that that's a real good prize. It is. But I tell you what, the ones that are the real prize winner are the ones that explode. Can you imagine a lump of earth filled with a lot of seeds? Plants are able to clone. Now, depending on how long they can stay frozen for, which is cryo-suspended animation, so can frogs. If they're in that chunk, and even if the atmosphere around foreign Europa moon with the right conditions, or maybe not got the right conditions yet, but it may evolve, that one piece that manages to land and explode across there, those seeds just have to wait. Seeds have expiration dates, yes, on an Earth. But do they in space? See, humans act different in space, right? So we know that our bodies are going to change. Yeah. What about seeds? What is being told to it when its sociology changes? We've only come in and seen it like this. And most seed banks are at Antarctica, aren't they? They're in cold climates. Why? And there you have it. So traveling through space, it can change the information that's in it. Something's tapping into life. What that is, well, I'll leave you to question it. There's something seems to be guiding it. All of it. Some of it a bit more obvious than others. Some of it a bit more aware of it than others.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and there are some things that have been unlocked more than other things. And that's, compared to animals, humans can do a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot more. Doesn't mean that the animals couldn't do that. And then when we look at nature, nature does a hell of a lot of stuff. A lot, actually. It's got to be older than what we are. It seems to be the main essential ingredient to starting life. It seems, okay, perhaps not bacteria, maybe, but it seems to be quite an essential role, because without it, how would we live?
Okay.
Oh, we could say, well, we'd eat animals. But what's going to support the animals? Unless they began eating each other.
Animals need nature.
But then something's got to give. Well, that's what it would turn into, wouldn't it? The only way that life could really survive if it started eating itself. So you can understand that. It's not a great thing to think about, but again, times were clearly not that hard here, because you would have gazelles munching into lions, and lions then munching into gazelles, which then breed up the lions. Then there are not enough gazelles. A few of them get lucky with the lions, and then it breeds up the gazelles. Then the lions dwindle down. And then this one rises. You see how this life can back and forth from it's a very morbid understanding, but life forms that get like that. Yeah. But we don't see it that way. We see it more along the lines of, there seems to be a lot of vegetation eaten. And the things then seem to eat the things that eat the vegetation. That's what we're seeing. Humans, yeah, it kind of works, but in cannibalistic format. So if you were to eat a few from one tribe, and then that tribe were to eat a few from you, and then from another tribe, do you see how slowly but surely the tribes begin to dwindle in certain areas, but other tribes begin to... And as long as you don't run out of other tribes, do you see how cannibalism is quite a... it's brutal, but it can buy time.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking brutal?
Yeah.
Sad but true. But we see largely with the animal kingdom that they were eating things that were eating the vegetation. Were they eating that before? Probably not. It was probably a little bit more of a... But they've learnt to prey on something, so therefore there must have been something around for them to keep this chain going, and it didn't break further.
Yeah.
So they were just... One was eating the other, eating the other, eating the other. We see this in humans. I don't know if you noticed that. That's been largely a lot in humans past. So something triggered that, and therefore that would have been a loss of food supply. That's what triggers that behavior. That behavior doesn't come from nowhere. You don't think that humans just all got together and thought, right, we're going to start eating each other. Taking the Jack Sparrow scene where he starts seasoning. You get it, right? That doesn't come from because they wanted to. That came because sociology of the planet changed in such a dramatic way that it didn't leave much room for options, and that became survival. And then you hold on to survival so long, even after it's times to start getting better again. And then we label it as tradition because we don't want to call it what it is, that perhaps life forms had a massive change where they had to get into this mechanism. Anyway, so moving back with these types of comets, the most valuable type of comet that there is are the ones that explode. So it'd be interesting to look at Tunguska, that area where that meteorite exploded.
Yeah.
Again, it's few and far between because when a planet explodes, it doesn't explode perfectly. It explodes in quite a lot of shards, and these bash into other objects as they go, and then it causes it to break apart even more so. But this just spreads life. That's just the way it is. So if you start off with a few big chunks, I don't know, just get them all weird shaped and everything, yeah? and then this hits into something over here, and then this divides, and you've got seeds in this and this and this, and bits of root and everything else. Yeah, you can't see it, I'm going to imagine. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you think about it. So you've got a massive slab of concrete then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
Or a piece of glass. Works better with that.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm going to do concrete. I'm going to smack a corner off. But it's all full of seeds, this concrete. Now I'm going to smack another corner off.
Yeah.
And then that corner I'm going to smack again, and it breaks into more parts. Each slab, the whole slab itself, contains a large amount of life. That's why life gets abundant around the planet. You ever see that? And nature tries to dominate the planet. Well, minus humans cutting it down for whatever reason, right or wrong, whatever. That's just the way it is. But you notice that nature wants to be everywhere. It's trying. It hasn't mastered desert terribly well, but it has made cactuses. As a deviation again. It understands survival. So where does it understand this from? Its behavior, although we don't look at it as behavior, but it does have a behavior. It's not doing it for nothing. So it's trying to master desert. It's trying to master the soil. It's trying to master underground. It's trying to master rivers. It's trying to master the salt water. It's trying to master Antarctica. It's trying to master every part of this and cover every square inch of this planet. And even the most oddest thing that there is, with all that land mass, with all that ocean in between that land mass, how did it get there? With all those changes that have happened on the planet, and then some parts of the River Thames started to empty out, and there was a very old forest there. And it's been doing this for a very long time. And the deeper you dig, you get to notice this really rich, no gritty soil, almost pure. That goes to show you how widespread it really was. And in most places, in all parts of the world, near enough, with all those changes that have happened, and it's still number one. Compared to humans, it was number one. I think it still is. How dominant it is. So big, so sparse, so abundant that you can get freaking lost in it. Now that is very interesting. So why does it do that? Oh, because it wants to. No, it's behavior. Life, when we say life, we say behavior, pattern, reason. What's the behavior? First and foremost is survival. Its ability to clone, that is very next level. There is also a type of worm. Can't remember what it's called now. Begins with an S, I think. Maybe. Forgot it. This can be spliced. Not perfectly. But again, that's pretty old. That's got to be really old. So maybe that came with nature. It seems to be on the same sort of timeline as it. And also mushroom. Mushroom seems very, very advanced. But these are separate. To me, these are separate planets. The way I see it, their behaviors are very much similar, but they have a different way to achieve what they're doing. And again, I think that this is, to say that nature is fungi, I think I think it needs more closer scrutiny. Because if it came to a choice of which one I had to save, it would be nature versus mushroom. I wouldn't. I would be watching it, and therefore I become a protector of nature. Why? Because, well, if nature all disappears because fungus wipe out or put poison in the soil, which one's going to support your life? Mushrooms? Honestly. Although very nutritious, and it appears to be because it pretends, that's only how long and how big is that flower versus the spawn, not the spawn, the colony underground. So, illusionary.
Yeah,
that's just after itself. And again, can't mushroom survive on... Mushroom is a loner. Mushroom appears to have been quite a dominant loner. It can make do off of metal. And it's very happy. So it's got a variety of ways to eat things. So it can also tap into plants if these begin to decay. That drops down. That's going to feed nutrients into the fungi. Humans, well, yep. It will have out of that. And also metal. So again, and it seems to be working out slowly, this environment here. bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Interesting. And it can also cope with quite a bit of salt, which is, again, bizarre. Not much nature can. But still, so anyway, the behavior of it is it gets very widespread. Well, definitely nature. And we take this slab and we keep breaking it up and we keep breaking it up and we keep breaking it up. Now, the more abundant a life form is, not humans, it don't work like that with humans or anything with eggs. Perhaps frogs, maybe. Again, they've adapted here for, perhaps that's more along the lines of Ice Agey. Kinda. And you're going to break this up. It's traveling out through space. And a piece of it lands on your, let's say your roper around a Jupiter that's on another star system somewhere else. But this one explodes. So the best comets that there are the ones that explode. Because what are they exploding? Not all of it's done in a greasy fireball. Some of it is, the outer edge, yeah, sure. But the ones that pop, they don't land, they explode. And when they explode, they seem to chuck a lot of that debris out the way. And some seeds are really good at charring. They can survive that. Some can be heated. It's great for germination. We look at the burning bush, don't we?
Yeah.
It may die, but so do its competitors. And it gives its young the very best. And then science says that once a forest is burnt, in some circumstances, this is true. I don't think it is in all. If it burns, it grows tenaciously. So even despite all of that cooking, there's a lot of seeds that seem to be favorable for high heat, intense heat.
Yeah.
So it may wipe itself with the next vegetation that comes up. Now that's interesting, because think back to comets. That big fireball, that explosion. And then how long can it stay in conditions? So let's say there is a massive shift on the planet. The land masses that are up fall down, and the ones that have been under the oceans lift up.
Mm-hmm.
What grows in that?
In which ones?
Well, what would grow on that new landmass? Nothing? Or do you think nature would cover it?
Yeah, it would cover.
But then how would it? Well, it's easy to understand pine cones.
Mm-hmm.
That one's easy. Don't all of this stuff float?
Yeah. Coconuts travel like that from island to island.
And in this process that we've learned that this stuff floats, is it accidental? Or do you think it's deliberately done just in case that happens? And therefore, is that a behavior?
It is behavior.
Behavior is, if I make, you see, it's different. We have to think. It grows and adapts with that growth ratio. If I grow porous and like this, I can float for X amount of days. There's a chance that when I fall and I fall into water and I float for a bit, that it could be a flood that takes me to somewhere else. When that water recedes, there's a chance I could start my own forest.
Yeah.
And the seeds act on this process as well. So again, that's a behavior, but where did that behavior come from? Well, it had to learn something, and how did it learn it? The fucking hard way, no doubt. This punched into it how to be. Then it marks it, remembers it, holds it, puts it down, but it doesn't put it down in memories. So we put it down in memories, and we speak things, and we put it down into outer memory, being computer, handwriting, stone, carving. Its memory is a reverse of that. It grows into its memory.
Yeah.
So it wraps itself in it.
Mm-hmm.
It lives the evolution. We think about it and then put it into writing. And the important text gets held. And some of the bits that drop off either naturally or we omit them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's our evolution, and that's our external evolution. And it's not something that we can embody, whereas their memory is embodied in the way they are.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Nature is different in that way, that everything seems to have this internal nature just seems to just get on with it. So I wonder if that's a behavior and it's an old life form, then humans may eventually be able to do this. It's just that it could be that nature's traversed a lot to know I need to be this way. And again, it might be able to write a bit of pen and paper on itself. You know, it might carve it into itself. Anyway, I'll keep a record of that. But it seemed unlikely. Why do you need a brain and be able to think if you grow into your adaptation? You don't need to think, you don't need to plan it out, you just do it. That's nature's difference. Whereas ours is a little bit more, it's a bit more detailed than that. It almost seems to be external, which it is because we teach it on to our little ones by talking and showing and helping to learn. But that's because we're different. Nature doesn't have this ability. If it did, it'd probably do the same thing, yeah?
Yeah.
And other life forms follow the same pattern. Nature is an exception to the rule in its behavior, that it is very different. I mean, if a tree started bowing down to you and having a conversation and it's that way, you'd understand it. But, and you can look at certain types of life forms, they teach their young. Again, bacteria seems to embody it as well, takes on this embodying, yes? So that means bacteria must be really old. Extremely old, because it just embodies its adaptations. It doesn't have a chalkboard or a whiteboard and starts writing down how it's going to change, step-by-step process. No, it just fucking gets on with it. Hey, I'm mutated. See you later, bitches. It just... Therefore, you can then understand that stuff is very old. So most of this stuff can be frozen. I think bacteria can't it? Not all of it is killed in freezing. Not all of it is, because if it was, you could put meat into a freezer, you could take it out of the freezer and just eat it. And then you still get sick. Why? Because it's still got the bacteria. Perhaps not at a massive rate, but still, it's still there. Even when you cook it, again, and then reheat it, then reheat it, then reheat. I think eventually that stops diminishing the bacteria and it grows or amplifies the growth ratio. So, yeah. Can't cook it, can't kill it by cooking, and you can't kill it by freezing. That's a massive amount of adaptation to it. Yeah. And again, it didn't pull out the chalkboard, it just fucking embodied it, didn't it? It just grew into it. So I think with humans, it's different. It needs this. But again, I think in any life form that I would select to get on with a job, I would need to be able to see its planning, wouldn't you? If something was encouraging us, or something was teaching us, it would need this to be external. Partly internal, but mainly external. Why? Well, I don't need to know what you're going to do with these gifts. Rather than you start growing into it, it's too late to start stamping out the fire when it's already ablaze, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Do you get what I mean? It's like, it's a little bit too late when it... Then the more gifts, don't you think there's that more? So, yeah, but nature seems to be quite trusted. I don't know why, but it does seem it, doesn't it? And then it can scatter over. So if a meteorite was to hit for humans, and they were to go in every direction, I don't see anything surviving that, or any other animal, not all of them. Nature, money's on that. Fungus, yeah, it's on that. A few others, but still, these are the main ones. Bacteria, yeah, I think it would cope with that. But where does it get that freezing from? It's already been there. Fungus seems to understand how to make spores that are already space capsulated. These can already reach out into space. Nature, perhaps, is like, well, why would I want to go there just yet? I'll just prepare and pack my suitcase and always have it packed. Just in case. I'm going to stay here. Look, you see these roots? I ain't budging. Whereas fungus is probably like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go to space. Go on, you can go anywhere you want. And then how long can that spore last in space? How far could it go? That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That's very interesting. If it can, and it can also come back in just as gentle. that almost seems to have a behavior that it knows that if it comes in too fast, too quick, that might burn up. See, I think even nature knows this with its seeds, right? So if you were to drop something here, it's going to burn up if it's big enough.
Yeah.
But if you take nature's process, doesn't matter how big your payload is, it's got to come in gently.
Yeah.
And then you don't destroy your cargo.
Exactly.
So it's already mastered that. And again, why would you want to master that? That's pretty windy on this fucking place. But still, it's got a behavior. And then anything that lands on a different planet, and it goes in multiple directions. This slab that's being broken up is going to go in multiple directions. Then some seeds are very, very small. Well, how much breaking up in that do you think it would survive? I think it would. Then the crushing. Well, it loves pressure. I'm a seed. Give me it. How deep can you get me, bitches? I'll show you. I'll root and grow. I like pressure. What about your leaves? They are a little bit delicate. This is my delicate side, so treat it with respect. If not, I'll grow thorns. Now you treat it with respect. Honestly, I think thorny blackberries and plants that get thorns on it, and if people were too rough with it, then it was like, I'll show you. Even stinger nettles as well, right? They've probably always been trampled on so much. I'm sick of this. Yeah, come here, you little fucking... Come here, legs. Come on, just brush against me. Not enough to kill you, but enough to make you fucking get away from me. Ah, shit. Works well, doesn't it?
Okay.
And you almost shrivel up away from it. Then it teaches you respect. Painfully, but it teaches you. It's a bit like cats, isn't it? They teach you respect me. All right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so they gain their respect with a little bit of... And sometimes cats are a bit like, you know what? Do you know what I am? Respect me, respect me. Nah, fuck it, I'm still a bastard. Yeah, some of them are in that. They take it a little bit too far, but then, yeah. So, in with this, it's almost like a figure of eight, heavy atom. Almost. Like we got a bit in the middle. And I think that when these two come around, alignment, depending on what else they're hitting with, alignment, and what type of data are they sharing. And then there seems to be something else that it's almost impossible to see it. But in the mind knows. You'd be like, well, that could be like mental health, that always knows. But no, it's so hard to explain it. It's almost like the mind can see more than external. We can keep looking for this externally, but we don't ever see it. It seems to be that internal, I think it's alignment. I think something's going in retrograde and something's going one way, something's going in the other, and these come together for and then what is the information that they're sharing towards each other? They both know that they are structured, and then they've been told to be a certain structure for this long as the alignment process happens. And then in death, can that alignment process not occur? And when that begins to stop in this format, because it's been designed to be in this sort of structure, while this, and this is happening, while this heavy thing is in control of these ones, and when it all aligns, it sends a very quick message that doesn't need the speed of light to do so. The speed of light in the brain, where it's using energy, is too slow. That would never ever make up for reflexes, ever. It's too slow. It seems very quick in the moment. No, it seems to be a snap decision that seems to run separate from the brain. The brain sort of catches up. So in a reflex, the arm sort of goes out, and then the mind's like, why did you do that? Oh. For a hot second, it seems to be separate. And then there's that knowing in whatever that you could call these, atoms? There's a knowing there. Well, of course there's a knowing there because it knows what to be. So where does that knowing, where does it stop? Where does it...
Some kind of energy stops.
And then what made this stuff? Well, you would say the star, maybe this, maybe an element over here. Yeah, but then something else took those knowings and told it, I know that you're going to go into here and be like this. Oh, okay, I know that I'm going to be like this, but you're not this. I know that too. Okay, so when this knowing stops, you need to go back to that knowing. And then stars are figuring it out, black holes are figuring it out equally. I'm going to pull this apart like this. I know how to unknow you, and stars are like, man, I fucking know you. You're going to be this. Oh, okay then. And then black holes are like, but you remember being this though, don't you? Yes. Okay, good, because that's what we're going to do. There you are. You're now one of me. In you come. Next one. But the star said I was this. I don't really give a shit what the star said. Do you remember being this? Oh, I do. Does it feel good? Yeah. Oh, refresh my circuits. And then the stars are doing this in reverse. You're now this. Huh. How does it feel? It feels like this. That's good. Does it feel good? Yeah, it feels good. Okay, now I know that I'm multiple things. And I know that you know. And I also know that they made me and unmade me. You're making me. And I know that I can be all of these things and more. That's right. Go over there. Two of you made one of these. With a little bit of this, with a little bit of that, with a little bit of unknown, but it's also known in reverse, but unknown, and a little bit of known in this way. How do you like that? Now, something takes this in the planets where it comes to life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you're that. Well, what can I be? I'm just iron. Yes, but we're going to put you in some blood. I can be blood? Why, yes, you can. Now, you're going to be skin. I mean, if I see a star spitting out hunks of skin, fucking bone, massive chunks of heart, I mean, I would start getting a little concerned, right? Like, what the hell is this? That is a feast for everybody, mate. We just solved world hunger. Why? Because stars make fucking humans and animals and bears and bats and rabbits and penguins and... She said something really funny to me today. I couldn't get this out of my chest. This is still tickling me.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, can you do the impression of a German Shepherd? Do you mean a dog? No, German Shepherd. Don't they speak German? Woof, woof. Fetch me das Bull. Woof, woof. I'm German Shepherd. What the? God, don't even start get me on the British Bulldog. Could you imagine a cartoon? This would be brilliant, right? It'd probably be shut down for xenophobia, maybe. Where you have the American Bull Terrier, done by an American voice.
Yeah.
Then you have the British Bull Terrier, done in a British accent. And then you have the German Shepherd, that is done in an English-German, with the accent. Mm-hmm. All of these accents on here. And then if Britain were making this cartoon in America, then, sorry, I didn't mean America, I meant Germany, then you would have to translate.
Yeah.
And then the French poodle. Oh, monsieur!
And Hungarian Puli.
Yeah, Hungarian Puli. You have to be in the accent of all of the nations that it comes from. And even if you translated it, so English Bull Terrier in Hungary, let's say the Hungarian Puli, which looks like a mop, it would still have we have the accent, but we just don't realise it because we all talk it here. But we all got this slight accent. I bet I got an accent to you, have I? You can hear my accent, yes? Or that sort of...
Yes, something that's different in my language. And
so if
you
I
can
started
hear
speaking Czech, you would notice it immediately and all your cylinders would fire. Hold on a minute. There seems to be an aloe every the 8th in this. I don't even know if that's great. I can't even do an English accent. I'm really good at American. Yeah, that's the only language I really know. And Australian. A little bit Irish. Bit of Scottish. Cowland. Isn't it cattle?
Yeah.
Scot means cattle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Scottish.
Yeah. But yeah, still funny. That was pretty damn funny. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, could you imagine that? That would be a pretty awesome program. It would knock the socks off of Paw Patrol, wouldn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that could get into people's minds, sort of like loving different accents? Because it is there. It's brilliant. I like accents. I do. I think they're nice. I like to mimic them. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that anymore. But still, yeah, anyway. That was pretty funny. What was I saying before that, Petra? Were you listening? That's the greatest teacher's ploy in the book.
You were all over the place, so I
I like being all over the
What
place.
was
in
the
this
last
one,
one?
because this is growing as I talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building this as we go. So yes, all right, I have this bit and this bit and this bit. That's it.
Yeah.
And I just sort of grow with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it unpacks, it unpacks. If it doesn't, still not happened yet. So we just keep going with that. Yes, the knowing of what you're going to be.
Yeah.
And that seems predominantly these ones know what they're going to be in reverse, and these ones know what they're going to be in forward motion, and they seem to come together. And then at death, it seems to know at this point you're going to stop being that.
Mm-hmm.
When something is taken, that's when you've got to stop. And then you could be like, well, atoms don't technically die. So there's more to this death than meets the eye then, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, atoms don't die, do they? So what happens to them? They just fall apart from structure somehow and...
Yep. So, again, and then monitoring that, something seems to be monitoring that. Just through no choice of your own. Some people can get up after some pretty horrific accidents and seem, I'm all right. Even when the adrenaline's worn off, they feel a little bit all right, perhaps got a bit achy here. A few days later, gone. So, to their mind, they would have been all right. But to something else, something wasn't right. And it knew something broke apart somewhere in that mechanism that would no longer sustain. So there's a level of knowing how to rebuild structure to a degree. But in this particular structure, that leads to this. And then it's like, turn on the Hoover. He's all right. Hello, little Penny. Hello. Okay, body. As you work. All the little atoms are like, oh, with all that potential, and it can be anything. These are little divots, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If you slam enough of them together, what can they be?
Something else.
Something else, yes. And then if you unpick them, what can they be? Well, then they know, don't they? And again, you could then argue that that's memory, which it is. How does it know to be what it is? So how does hydrogen know how to be helium? Well, this has been slammed like this. Yeah, that is one way to answer it. It's very good, but it's very basic. It's like, there you are, did it. That's a rush job. How does it remember to be what it is? Well, it's holding memory. Some things hold memory longer. And there, that pumps in knowing. Do you think the atom remembers how to be helium? And do you think the helium atom knows how to be hydrogen? Now it's got a knowing, hasn't it? I know where it goes one way. I know how to go. I'm going to reverse you. We're going to go backwards. Oh, okay then. Oh yeah, I remember that. Good. Good, because that's where you're heading. Yeah, that was pretty cool being that. And then it doesn't fear the change. And then the change. And then what? Does it remember as being hydrogen and then the universal cycle starts again? Does it know what it can already potentially be? Where's the benchmark? Did it make it past iron? Did it make it past this on the next one? Did it make it past so on and so on and so on and so on? It doesn't know what comes after it, but it's willing to find out. But the last time it managed to reach this ratio. then it was unpicked, and then it's picked. And then it's the stitches has been picked, and now it's being reknitted again. Bit by bit by bit by bit. And life forms are a little bit more different, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Know how to be what you are in this current moment.
Yep.
Do you think there would ever be a trace of nature or life on this planet? And then, would you know what life looked like?
A trace of nature is what? Like
Well,
some remnants?
If it all goes extinct,
Yeah,
eventually all life would break apart until there was nothing left, yes?
yeah.
It would erode. I'm pretty sure bones erode. Those ones in the river were pretty much on their way out.
Yeah. Yes, they were. Mm-hmm.
And then if you've got boulders, and look at what it can do with boulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Salt water and pressure, crushing. Eventually, bit by bit. And then how long does it take for a planet to be completely scrubbed of any remnants left?
I can't imagine.
That would be interesting. So to come across some space probe like Voyager and some, let's say, life forms many ions from now, let's say humans don't. Doesn't mean that they're not going to. It's just hypothetical. And life forms grabbed Voyager, managed to see it in the way that they see. Now, whether that's seeing like a bacteria, whether that's seeing using a vibration like a bat, a more advanced bat, no eyes needed. No ears needed. Perhaps they just send it and a signal builds automatically, a bit like a beluga. And they take hold of Voyager. And they slow it down and they manage to have a little look at it. And they figure out what it is very early on. They can see the images appear on the golden disc, coordinates, so to speak. And then they follow it back to Earth. By this time, Earth has changed a lot. The sun is probably touching the outer edges. Again, and if that sounds molten in that aspect, what life is left? What is left? Nothing. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Which kind of helps you. You know, if you leave life forms on a planet and you leave and you expand, something is able to trace you. It knows what it's looking for. And there again, would you know life if you ever saw it? It's just nature. It's just a planet. It's just a star. They're not alive. It's just a black hole. You wait until you get in my hole. Wait, that sounds so wrong. Stand by it, though, because I am a black hole. Wait until you get in here, sons of bitches. I'm going to pick you so good. Right, this sounds really weird, but still, you know, it's rather fitting, actually. Yeah, very nice. But yeah, I want to play around with this a bit more, but there is something else on top of this. The seen and unseen. Is it or isn't it? And I mean that it is very much seen, though, although it's not observed as to what that is. That's very interesting. And then there was another one with taking this information, so you could imagine it with a piece of light that connects to it, and if it smacks into something else, the light bounces off, yes? Doing this with TIVAs. And then it seems to be able to send an image back through, but yet the light absorbs onto the screen and this bounces back around, and it's darkness and it is light. Although the dark can be light and the light can be stripped and become darkness. That's very weird. Divot, it can switch depending on what's been put in it. And then that emptiness that would you say is darkness, if it's caught by the mind's eye, this then portrays an image that then gets knocked out on the screen and this object keeps on going. So can we see anything leaving the eyes versus what's coming in the eyes? And if the light is holding a wrapped light image and it hits the screen, and whatever that is that passes out, that nothingness at the other side, bounces around the brain, it could go around where your third eye is, that light, capture an image into that, and then throw it back into the plate again as being imagination. And could this send this out, or could it go back around the brain? Well, it could use that indefinitely, can add more to it, well, chuck some out, I don't know why you would need to. And the reverse of this happens. Bounces back off the plate and out of the eye. Interesting. It's very fascinating when we get with cats. and you see them in the infrared, you notice their eyes are acting like little fucking torches.
Yes, they are.
Do you remember watching Mus with that?
Yeah.
I couldn't see him because he was so far away from the infrared, but I kept seeing these little freaking like spotlights
Yeah.
keep moving around. I was like, what the fuck is that? They look like little torches, but they weren't torches.
Yeah.
They were his eyes. And everywhere he was looking, it was almost like you could see this tubing coming out of his eyes. That sort of, depending on where his focus point was, he looked like he had two of these coming out of his eyes.
Uh-huh.
And you could argue and say that that's the light reflecting back out. Yeah, but that light reflecting back out of his eyes is also now, lightening up a certain path. And it went to a distance. So it was about 2 cats worth. Give or take, but the tail from one to the other, I guess. So from snout, let's say, to tail, times 2. That's how far the light, and then you could no longer see it on the infrared camera, yes? So that light bouncing out of the eye is then illuminating certain things, and it must be going back into the eye. Now, how does the cat's eye function to know what needs reflecting out and what comes back in? You see, that's a fascinating way to understand it. So anything in this 2 cats worth away, yeah, they could see. And then I wondered how they saw other cats' eyes. Could they see this beam? And that's how they can lock on from each other from a great distance. And again, it's another way to see, but again, fascinating. And they usually sleep during the day and like to go out at night anyway. I'm not sure about big cats, but most certainly these little ones, their eyes have adapted really well.
Yeah, I think it's all of
They
them.
seem to be able to scan.
Yeah.
And then these lights seem to blink, seem to switch off for a bit and come back on again, which I learnt was blinking. I had to go out and physically find out what was going on because I just couldn't see. So it involved me having to move the camera further up and then go and watching back what I had recorded. There it was. Little cat. Mus. What the hell are you doing up here? Wait, is you? You got little torches on your head. This is just Nadine. This is bitches need stitches. Come play and give you some stitches. So yeah, he's got these like little torches, and other cats have it too. It's amazing what you don't pay attention to. It's like this. It's very faint. It's like looking for a rainbow when the moon is out. It's there, but it's freaking faint. It's so faint you don't even really notice it. And then it got me wondering whether there are types of rainbow when it comes to infrared light. And yes, I'm pointing there because I got some infrared.
Yeah.
I don't even know if those ones are infrared though. To be honest. So yeah, I'm playing around with that. I want to find out whether there is a type rainbow that comes off of this. And the rainbow over the moon is not color. It is and it isn't. It's shades of white.
But it has light color in it, doesn't it?
There is I wouldn't say a great deal. It's shades of more on the white spectrum. So that means that the color spectrum that we see must break even further into its own individual spectrum. So although we see red, let's say, or violet, I think it breaks further into that spectrum. If you isolate the violet light, it then breaks again. And again, and in all the colors they break down and break out. Fuck me, it gets even more confusing. When you think you understood the color ratio and then they break down even further, I guess you could understand this is getting light to more dark orange, let's say. Light orange, dark orange. But I think then when you isolate the light orange and go again, it breaks again. And again, and again. And I think you just keep going with it until you strip it of color, I think. or you add way too much color and it bleaches out into darkness. So either or, it goes into white, too white, and then that's it. Transparent, I'd say, in that way, because we don't register it. And then it gets too dark and also don't register it. Or you darken it down too much and then... Yeah, that's when light is not a color on a piece of paper. No, it doesn't work like that. It's more... Yeah, it's more... What's that place called? Miria? No. Whatever. It's more alive. Transparent. Where you can run your hand through it and everything and you don't even notice it, that it's there. But you can see that it's there, but you can't feel it. The eyes told you it was there. Did the brain tell you it was there? Not really sure. Did the inner... No, that's something that you see and then, it must be there. Tell someone that without eyes. Well, there's this cup. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And did you ever think that we have different differentiators of life on the planet because it gets you ready for the overall of what life could be like? You've got different varieties here.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very small. If light breaks down in this many spectrums, think about what life sits on. And multiple spectrums. Yes, you've got nature that does this, this, and this. But what is that a piece of? Because if it has expanded from a small amount of seeds, so plants in China are very different to the plants in Britain, to America, to Russia, to Europe, Australia,
Southern
desert.
America.
Yeah. And if nature has born from a cluster, then that's a very small part of the picture. And again, it's evolved again to fit the ratio. What did that piece come from? Then what? It's a small fragment of something that's even more larger. Does this other stuff still exist? That's another question. Did it land and rendezvous elsewhere of these little remnants? And did these expand again and again and again? Then that starts breaking down into a spectrum. It's pretty massive, isn't it?
It is.
And then different variations of life, different variations of seeing. So seeing in thermal, where you don't actually see, you just feel heat and cold spots. Can you map out a place? Yeah, it's like wearing a thermal camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just wearing that all the time.
And they say that snakes see like that.
Yeah, and I think they also see with ions. I think their tongue is very good at, they can detect the ions, which again, it's ironic that the rodents that they may go after exhale this. That's how they seem to sliver with this almost knowing sense of where to go, and they also know how to miss the places where the rats aren't in. And that's interesting, again, without even checking. They might beat their head around, but off they go again. And then when they go only into the ones usually that they've got prey at the end of, and it's a guaranteed meal. So snakes are, again, this to ancients would have been very mystical. Very fascinating to watch because they always had this sense of knowing. But again, it's limited information. So again, it seems like it's mystical. It seems like it's, powerful and strange until you really look at it and you figure it out. And then, it might not be mystical as what it makes out itself to be. It's more like it is tasting something that you have no recollection to. It's not in you. And then birds migrating. Well, what do we need to do it? A freaking compass, this, that, the other. Stars, compasses don't only get you some of the way there. You then need to bounce between stars, sunset, sunrise, and also moon. If not, you'll be chasing your tail all the time, finding the magnetic moving pole, won't you? Yeah. And even then, it doesn't get you all the way there. So you need a lot of things in order to nap. And what do birds do? They just piss off. Off they go. Yeah. Oh, that's fucking magic, isn't it? Not really. Some of them have the things in the beak. I think it's pigeons. Certain types of birds, seagulls, not seagulls, seabirds see a pink spot. Yeah. And then there are geese. They're fascinating. They're high altitude geese. Yeah. I mean, if I was a fighter pilot up at that sort of height, I would go just to fly alongside some geese, be like, yo, and then just sort of duck down. I mean, it's a reminder that you got to be careful about how you fly. You don't want to get any of them sucked in. But still, to be up there with them, and you'll marvel at it. Why? Because you're in a precious suit. You need it all.
Yeah. And they are just
And they're just
like,
like, my lungs are designed for this. And again, that should input into your minds as humans. You can do this too. Do you know where the best space program ever to be built would be?
no.
Mountains. Everyone will be like, well, it'd be very expensive to pull all that stuff up there. No, that's thinking about it wrong. Not really. Is this not achievable? Yeah, it is. Is it possible if you really wanted to, as humans, humanity, you know? A type of wage that, hey, will support you, your loved ones, and your life. Do you think you lot could go over there and get a railway track built around the side of it? I think we could. Do you think that you could build this, this, and this? I think we could. It's amazing what humans can do when they all work together.
Yeah.
We make ants look fucking lazy. But even still, if you were to build this construct and take in what you need from the atmosphere, you need less fuel. Less fuel means a hell of a savings.
Yeah.
You can send more rockets up.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than just sending one, the rockets don't need to be as big because they're already part way there. God, this saves a lot of money. And most of the mountain ranges, I think some of them in China got shut down, didn't they? I think it was, or was it Japan? I don't know, somewhere. Where they were too dangerous to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So they closed off some of the passes. Man, I fucking buy these like anything. What do you want a mountain for? Come on, how much? It won't take much to get a rocket from there. It depends on how high they are. And even still, they're not much for anything else. People like to climb it, they still could, but perhaps not here and on days of this. And it helps people to stop losing their lives up these places as well, because there'll always be people. The higher up you go, yes, the atmosphere gets less, but you can build pretty decent rockets. Think of how much more stuff you could get up there on that little amount of fuel. That's rather than it needs to spoon drip. Actually, it would need to go sideways off the mountain. You can't send a rocket straight up. I don't think that works. It has to go curved. Because you have to fall into the planet's... You have to always constantly fall in order to miss the gravity, don't you? Because if you stop, you will come back down.
Yeah.
And if you go up, straight up, well, that doesn't get you into an orbit. So, and again, that's more costly on fuel, I think, because you then need to get out the atmosphere, and then what? You then need to adjust and then fire another rocket to get you to... That's too expensive. So you have to angle.
Yes, spiral.
Well, spiral, but you need to go an angle.
Yeah, yeah.
Rainbow effect. Sort of, not a rainbow because you don't come back down. Well, your payload will probably come, whatever your boosters and whatnot, they'll probably drop back down. But the rest of it is basically, it's a shuttle. You're shuttling something in. Then it needs to, you off of that first thrust from the planet, you're already falling. You don't need as much fuel. But if you go up, then what?
Boing.
Yeah, you go up and then we're going to stop. Oh, okay then. Well, that was fun.
Didn't have enough fuel. Didn't
Well,
make
I guess
it.
we can get there, but
We need more and more and more fuel for that.
So yeah, from the mountain or a very high up, that'd be a good place to do it. I know people would get altitude sickness, but you get used to it, and via getting used to it, you're already pre-designing. I just wonder that. with quick calculation, how much pressure would those types of geese need in a spacecraft compared to humans? Because if they can survive at that height, they've got lungs and they've got the capability to be able to even close off and breathe. It's a very unique way to do it. But when you understand that, what type of spacecraft would they need to sustain life at that level compared to someone on the ground? Now, if we had a human at the same level, seems barbaric, doesn't it? No, not really. If that life form can do it, so can you. Just, you can't rush the evolution process. I think it comes in family, but it just happens, doesn't it? People live, don't they? How about you take on this lovely, beautiful hotel up here at this mountain? It's X amount of feet above fucking ocean water. Great views, splendid views. Oh, ensuite farm. Anyone like to live here? What's the catch? You've got to be a caretaker. If anyone gets lost on the mountain or an SOS, sorry, you have to go down and rescue them. Oh, all right then. How long's the lease? Lifetime. Generational, in fact. It is? Of course. My word, you're being generous. No. We don't make buildings anywhere else, only here. Go on, do it for humanity. Go on. Now, what's the betting that these people will be able to live at that level so long, generation after generation, just living? Who knows? And after X amount of years, their spacecrafts need less pressure. And then they begin to function at it. Like, everyone else that comes up, come on, keep up. How the hell do you do this? I'm just fucking great, me. And then we bring that person down to ground level. And they're looking at everyone else going, how do you do this? It's so fucking heavy. I need a decompression chamber. Oh, irony. But they could meet in the middle. They'd function both at the middle, I reckon. And that can sort of be a prep. How long does it take before they're able to defy that? If they're there for 5 years, yeah, okay, there are going to be some issues, no doubt. Evolution isn't perfect, but give it a fucking chance. It seems to have done all right pretty much, isn't it? And look how many life forms it's had to play with.
Oh, yeah.
And planets and stars. Interesting. So yeah, memory, stored into atoms.
Yeah.
These would make great computers, wouldn't they? Especially if the atoms were never touched by anything. How much would they be able to hold? They hold memory, but they embody the memory that they hold. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Reminds me of nature.
Yeah.
But again, nature breaks away and these break away too. It seems like they're built in with contingency plans. Here's the thing. If this happens, yes, I know, you told me, God, I'm going to do this. All right. And then if it gets binded like this, I'm going to act like this. Well done, my little Adam. Well done. Now tell your friends. That seems to be quite a lot of knowing for something very fucking small, doesn't it? That makes sense for our breathe in, breathe out, and what? One is doing one whilst the other's doing something else. And then when they align, they send a... Well, they all line together, don't they? That's quicker than anything.
Yeah, they do.
So if they're all smacking into each other at the same time, all the way across the body,
Yeah.
well, that's a lot of knowing. Oh, yeah, we're all good then. But it's not just that. It's not just the body, is it? It's all of it. The organs, the bones, the skin, the juices, the pressure.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, that's pretty fucking incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
This blood is oxidized. Oh, it's not anymore. Okay, now this one's going this way. Wow, interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. It's the bit in the middle that is... And I think there's more to it than just this. I think it's 4. This would be 4, and then I think it's 8. It just feels like it. It's sort of like spectrum based. Look, you can see this, can't you? Yep. Okay. Now, what about these? I don't see it. Well, you do see it because you've got other surroundings around it, which then tell you that it's there. Okay, God, you're confusing, but go on. Well, if I put these ones here, it means that you can now see these ones. I'm following you. Your logic is fucking batshit crazy, but I get it. Go on, keep going. Then that means if I do this, do this, do this, and then I do this, I'm writing that bit there. No, you lost me. Do you know anyone? Yeah. So I think there's more. And it's a very interesting pattern when you get into here. But still, they all align at a certain time to tell the information. And then are we getting some of our thoughts from this? Which then rendezvous with what we've stored, knowledge, versus what we are getting from reality. I mean, that's a level of information, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that information is coming in. You've got your internal information of all of what you've learned over your life. And then you seem to have this little bugger here. Seems to know a little bit. And then this bit, what's this bit for then? Well, maybe it's maintaining all of this stuff. The stuff that you just can't access. Well, you can access the lungs. They might fall into this one. But something else, we're going to run this one. We're going to run all of this. You have no access to it. What's that then? Liver. Got you. Probably didn't want that anyway. Your bowels. I definitely didn't want... That's a shit job. Yes, someone's got to do it. Okay, right, I see your point. Look, we'll take care of all of this, like the iron fist that we are. We give you this one here for democracy. Okay, I like this. This I understand. This I'm starting to fucking get. And this one is all the shit that you learn. Right? Like, hold your breath. Okay, I let it out. Now do it faster. Now stop. I'll do it. I get it. That's pretty good. What about blinking? Indeed. And thoughts? So let me get this straight. All those times I couldn't sleep because I had something on my mind, yeah, it was me. Right, gotcha. Act on impulse? Yep, that was also me. Evolve your ass? Nah, that was also me. Okay, now I feel like a puppet more and more each day. That's because you are. But this, you got all of this, look. I give you this, keep this. We'll share this bit. Right? And then hopefully we can make a great vessel and a good world. That's a good plan. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, you can label it any way you want. It doesn't really matter. It's just, you know, have fun with it. It's just what I'm doing. It's just playing around with it. Come here, God. It seems to fade out. A bit like a rainbow, really. And that's what we can see. And what can we not see in that? Well, I don't know, because we can't see it. And it needs more closer scrutiny, doesn't it? A lot more. There seems to be an awful lot of seeing, and then there's also a lot of not seeing. A lot more not seeing than seeing. How the hell does that work? So anyway, had some fun with that. I'm going to leave this one here because, you know, yeah, I think I covered a few on that one. It's still rattling around. I'll give it some more. I've got a few other things that are still rattling. But yeah, so we did the cat's eyes. Wonderful. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, the perspective from cats. I definitely, next time, I want a set of eyes that are like cats. And the question I got, are they in control of that intensity, what reflects out and what doesn't? Now that'd be interesting. Ears that play sounds and we sense vibration. Well, this might keep us in tune with the earth, and then when earth starts getting a little bit, we'll all know it instinctively. We won't be able to put our fingers on it. What is that feeling? I don't know. Feels like absolute dread. Yeah, I know, I was feeling that too. Then you'll understand why you got fear. And that's why you got a little bit of love and safety. Because the planet seems to be doing pretty well, and then maybe it starts getting a little bit hiccupy. Humans, the planet doctors, don't try and fix it. I don't think it's possible to do so. I think that when it starts to break, it goes beyond something, and then that's a signal. What's that signal? Maybe we should be getting the fuck out of here. And then it becomes unbearable to live on that signal. Yeah, and if you're in that sort of controlled state in that way, then it's the planet. So all it needs to do is change its frequency, and it becomes nigh on impossible for humans to be able to deal with it. And then they go in space and they're like, this was good. Then they go back into Earth and it's like, oof, I just don't know if I like that feeling or not. Have some medication. Oh, I probably won't be doing that. I would probably answer the call. And then you'll learn this and remember it and write it in books, and then everyone will think you're sentimental fuckers. Many millennia ago. Here, look here, it said our ancestors felt really unstable about being on a planet. It says here that it blew up. Ah, it's a fucking myth. Do you see a big bluey greeny ball flying around? No. It's myth. We've always been space creatures, that's what we are. And then a few ions go past, and then someone else is looking back at that person writing that little journal. And then the star. They were around the star, and it started making them feel a little bit uneasy and just a bit strange, because the frequency started getting a bit not human friendly. And this very naturally made all of the humans that were intelligent go, we get go. Unless you want to celebrate like the Romans. Look at that, Pompeii, it's smoking for us. Look at that, it's wonderful. Do you feel that? I do feel something is a bit off. I thought it was the grapes I was eating. I don't know, you know, there's got to be some telltale signs in that. There's that sort of uneasiness. I think we've been taught mainly to shut that down. I think we ought to excel that out of ourselves, don't you? Reading that. And we must, it's probably not talking to Earth, and Earth is probably not talking to us, but something has been put out there that its field affects you. Mm-hmm. Then this affects you, which then makes you internally think about it. Mm-hmm. This outer experience. Now it's insulting all of your nerve endings and everything else. Oh, I don't like this. The sun starts getting really hot. Oh my God, it's fucking terrible, man. It's burning. The outer world, right? The sociology of the universe starts to change. Solar system, I meant. Starts to change. It's getting a bit hot, and then you move away. Hey, so right here, as soon as I stand here, oh, it's too warm. Now here, perfect. Here, no, I don't like it. Here, all right, good. I think we could learn that strange feeling of this burning feeling means that thing's getting a bit too fucking hot, and it means this is the safe zone. That this is. Anything beyond here, good. Now, if we go too far over here, oh, it's too cold. Here, it's good. Well, fuck me, call me Goldilocks. This is the greatest porridge I've ever eaten. It's called life. Harmony. So, the Earth. Maybe it's got this built-in mechanism. Accidental or accidentally on purpose. Is it or isn't it? I like the mystery. Let's keep it a mystery, because it sounds better, doesn't it? Is it a god? Is it spirits? Or is it the Earth? But then who taught the Earth that? And then who taught all of this in? You're going to be this. But it was the star. Look at Ra. Ray. Yeah, but who's taught the star to do that? More to the point, what taught the black hole? Hang on a second. This is a cycle. Something must have been taught somewhere. Yeah. So how big do you think life is?
How big?
Yeah, could you imagine that when you die, you shrink down to something that's really fucking small. And it makes these big fucking clobby atoms appear really big. Silence! They all speak together. They all have little votes as well. Naturally, they all know what each other's thinking. And just sort of unify in that. From your perspective, it sounds like this. God! No, you're just not God. You would never take it seriously, would you? Could you imagine that? Something smaller than bacteria?
Yeah.
I think it's talking to me, sir. We're in a fucking laboratory somewhere. It's fucking talking! What is it saying? I don't fucking know, but listen. What are you doing with me? I just need to make sure you're okay. Have you taken your medication? Yeah, I took double. Come on, this is talking. Put your ear to it. It's talking. You're crazy too. Wait, hold on. What? Oh, yeah. Sorry, pass. Go on to the next one. What are we doing? Oh, yes. Little life forms. Little tiny, so fucking minute, smaller than a bacteria. World leaders everywhere gather around a fucking table with this most very small thing in it. What are we going to do? Is that a god? He's saying it's God. Could you imagine it? No, don't be like, nope. God doesn't look like that. He looks like this. And this, and rides chariots and skies and not this. No. This thing here could be eaten by an ant. It'll be a fucking dinner for an ant.
Oh, you sons of bitches, wait till you come over here, you son of a bitch.
What's that?
I'm the devil, sons of bitches.
We've been worried about... No, this is... I think someone spiked the water. Are we having a shared hallucination right now? Well, it's better than calling it a delusion. You'd be testing water, testing yourself, questioning reality. You'd never take it seriously. Would you take anything like that serious?
Probably not.
You wouldn't?
I would think that it's someone is playing a remote.
And then an alien pops out going, April Fools!
Yeah.
We got you! Oh, wait. Everyone's laughing and then we look at each other like, aliens? This is more believable than that. You know, first off, I didn't know you were pulling my pisser. Your pisser? Never mind, human turn. But now, you're an alien. That was the greatest way to get past the fear response.
Mm.
I know, we're a species of laughter. Oh, we sell laughing cow here, you do? Yeah, it's made from cow udder. I'm sorry, come again? The tits of the cow? We're humans. I'm sorry, go on, this is funny stuff, go on. Ah, God, we gotta look some strange stuff. I'm sure they have got some equal embarrassing stuff just to waiting to tell you.
Yeah.
And you've got to hold a straight face in that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely do.
There are some other animals out there that eat fucking worms.
Mm.
Well, actually, centipedes, and they get fucking high off it. Have you seen them little fucking monkeys that pull them up and they start rubbing them over themselves and just biting them and pissing them off, and they release this chemical and it makes them like, oh. And they start rubbing it over themselves. Have you not seen that?
No, I haven't.
I don't remember what they're called now. I think they bite a fucking... It looks big to me. Notice that camera zoomed in. Oh my days, man. That's some funny shit. They don't actually kill it. They just bite it and it releases this toxin. But it's very intoxicating to these... Now I gotta ask myself a question, yeah? Well, those... I think they're centipedes. I don't know. Whatever they are. Who's fucking who in this situation? You mean, I thought you would make this chemical to keep them away, not make them so intoxicated. But it could be because they take them up a tree. Maybe these centipedes, right? You could look at that and we could narrate it as David Attenborough. Oh, these little bastards like getting high off of this stuff. They do it very often. The way they put it in the mouth and rub it over themselves repeatedly. Yeah, but why? I thought that whole point of making something like that was so the thing went, ugh. Could you imagine that? It's like you going up to a skunk and being, oh, come here, you little fucker. Oh, smell me.
Because they got used to it or something.
Is it that they got used to it, or is the centipede thing, wants to be moved further?
Maybe.
With all those legs, it's going to take quite a while. Could you imagine moving that many legs in synchronicity? I barely struggle with 2.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean?
You
Fucking-
do. Yeah, I know.
Get humans anywhere near paths that have been laid over roots, and it's night. That's a fun time, isn't it? fucking hell. Whoops. Nearly fell over. And a centipede manages to walk them all correctly? How the fuck do you do that? Oh, it's got to be down to the knowing, but still getting a little bit off topic. Do you think that it makes that so that it gets picked up, climbed up a tree somewhere, and it's held it in its mouth and it's moved on somewhere, so that it moves it further? It's like past the intoxication, and where does it end?
Yeah.
They land on the floor and then off they go. Or is it working because these things may have eaten them, but they found that they were precious and got so intoxicated that they weren't thinking about eating it? Actually, I like this self-defense mechanism. Could you imagine if humans had that? You're about to be murdered and you just someone up with someone. Oh no, I'm fucking in it.
That might be the way. Yeah.
Whoa, dude! What did you do? Do it again. Yeah, in for a penny, out for a pound. That would be pretty good. And it'd have to call the police as soon as you sprayed it, wouldn't it? Send a beacon. It's not a fucking bad idea. Probably don't do that. Actually, I suppose if it saves lives, fuck it.
Yeah.
You got the fucking killer and you've got the person, the victim, and all in the same aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there very fucking intoxicated, dribbling and everything. Okay, what's the investigation here then? Well, it is this person's house. And this might be the intruder. Yes, this bottle belonged to this person over here. Okay, alright. Actually, not a bad idea, that. You're fucking right. Actually, it could be a bit risky, though. Someone goes in with a fucking mask on. Yeah. It seeps. Never mind. Alright, I'm going to leave this one here because it's going to get real strange and I'm enjoying it, but still. Anyway. Oh,